happening, what it is. Welcome to the SimpFree podcast.
Yeah.
Happy hump day evening, everybody. It is now 9 p.m. and we coming at you live from the SimpFree podcast, baby. Out here in West Michigan doing it how we do. I'm that boy B Mason.
Oh, it's that boy Wizz, of course, in the building.
What's happening?
You know, feeling good. Another podcast evening.
Yeah.
Can't complain, you know, feeling great. Hope y'all enjoying it. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. SimpFree podcast. We've been doing this consistently, you know, much as we could.
44.
You know, happy about it. We just, you know,
44.
appreciate everybody for enjoying, you know, coming along for the ride. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Whether you're watching it live or you're getting the playback, man, we appreciate everything.
We appreciate it, you know.
For real. Without y'all, we ain't nothing. You know what I mean? We gonna continue striving. Hope y'all notice something, you know, a little different about the show. You feel me? Yeah, we trying to do something different, spice it up, you know, make it official. You hear me? I hope y'all like it. You know, hope y'all doing good out there.
Yeah.
You know?
What's up, Tony?
Hey, hold
Family
up,
Clown.
Tony Rain,
Gucci.
of course.
Yeah, man. So
what up, Sanika W? What up? You know,
Miss Williams, what's happening?
What's up with it? We
Sanika.
appreciate y'all. You know, that's the day ones. You already know.
Yeah, man.
Feeling good, man. It's episode 44, bro.
Terry, how you doing?
You know, I think we're gonna have an interesting conversation tonight. You're only sorry because you got caught. You know.
Oh snap, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna go in a little bit. You know, I think it's gonna be interesting. Come up with some shit. Hopefully it goes well. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Anything happened during the week, man? Anything, you know, anything you would like to discuss?
You know what, man? I just been, you know, keeping my head down, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm feeling like something ain't right here.
Uh-oh. Y'all, are we good out there?
I don't know. My Mizzy don't seem like it's working. My Mizzy ain't on.
Terry Williams. Give us some feedback out there live, y'all. What we sounding like?
I can't hear you now either.
Uh-oh.
What just happened?
It says yes. She said yes, it is.
Yes, what is?
Black Sniper, what up, though?
What's
y'all
up,
can
son?
hear us? We good? I can see the mic moving.
Oh, okay, cool.
Go up.
We sound good.
Go up. Where you at?
I'm right here.
Yeah, we good, man. We good. They said we
I
straight.
don't know what happened.
Y'all sound good. Thank
All
you.
right, take
Appreciate
it
it.
in.
Hey,
Take that
we
with
good,
the
dude.
grain
You
then.
feel me? Yeah, like I was saying, episode 44, this nigga B over here fucking up as usual.
Hey, man.
But this my man's right here, though. I'm nothing without him.
Hey, don't hate me, man.
The show don't move without him, but we appreciate y'all. Yeah, so we good, man. He over here bullshitting, ain't he?
It's the method. You
That's
know
what I'm saying.
Yeah, the method,
Hey,
Ray.
I want to talk about something. Like, while everybody pile in, of course, you know, I want to promote always businesses and whatever. Mm-hmm. Anything y'all got to promote that's dope, we always was like that. Hit us up. You know what I mean? Y'all know how to reach us.
Holla.
I haven't shouted out Tony Rain. Got to do that. Always. Last few shows, I haven't done that. I've been forgetting. That's my bad. TonyRain.com. Please go visit.
It's like Murray's.
Like, for real.
Last
like,
you forever.
It keep your skin glistening, especially for, you know, for us melanated folk. Hey, you right. Like lotion and all that, you might want to just throw that shit
Got
away.
Nice
that shit don't even work. But no, TonyRain.com. Get her body cream and her book. I was supposed to be nothing. You can get all that on TonyRain.com. Always want to support that.
Check that.
And like I say, anybody else get anything y'all would love us to support. We love supporting, and we out here. But I want to talk about there's been some new findings. Remember last week how we was talking about that Wilder Fury fight?
Yeah.
There's been some interesting findings that's going flying a little under the radar. You know what I mean?
What happened, G?
Salute to the boxing, Dante's Boxing Nation. I got to give them salute because that's where I first seen it. Like, it was pictures of the gloves of Tyson Fury looking wobbly, right?
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. You know, I didn't really think nothing of it, but it looks weird.
Okay.
When they slowed it down, like, no, if you're making a fist in the boxing glove, there's no way the top part should be flapping.
I remember seeing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I thought that might have been some camera angle shit. Somehow,
This is the first fight, right?
No, this is the second.
Oh wow!
Because remember, the first one went the distance. Fury was technically winning, but then Wilder had that night. Fury hit the canvas twice. So I'm wondering how the hell did that change so drastic and within that little bit of time frame since the next fight. Turns out there's been some type of sparring partner or something that pointed out his gloves, Fury's gloves, in the middle. You could like put your fingers like almost together on the boxing glove, which should never happen. Like, boxing gloves are thick padded, so if you put your fingers just like that, it'll be hard to move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a big difference when you can do this and barely hit, and can't go down where your fingers almost touching. Like he was manipulating the padding.
Had bare knuckle out there behind the
Bruh,
other?
is a possibility that Fury could have been using bare knuckle. But my thing is, he is such a good boxer. Why would he take that measure if he felt like that's what he needed to do, you know what I mean, to win? Because how was he putting the paws on him? I get he got bigger, I get that, but how was he putting the paws on Wilder like that? It kind of makes sense. So this is gonna get investigated. Y'all look this up. Like, Fury might have manipulated his gloves. Now, I'm not taking away nothing from his boxing skills, but that is a complete disadvantage if you getting hit pretty much bare knuckle, compared to your glove. You know what I mean? So this story just came out, so that shit should be interesting. We're going to see what's up.
Yeah, they're supposed to check the gloves before the fight.
That's my thing. Like, don't they check them? Like, shouldn't they be checked by both corners and shit? Like,
but just like that other boxer wet his.
Oh, yeah, Margarito, and they let him go out there and beat the hell out of Cotto. He could have. That was crazy, lumped up. Bro.
He looked like Martin after Tommy Hearns got a hold of him.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. But no, this is going to get investigated. And the third fight is supposed to be coming in July. So, I don't know. This might put a damper on that shit. You know what I mean? Man. That's interesting, though. I thought that was crazy. We were just talking about no excuses and saying, like, the suit was 40. Like, no, we don't want to hear that. But this is a legitimate excuse. If you getting hit bare knuckle to the back of the head, that shit makes sense. You know what I mean? And so, are y'all boxing fans out there? Y'all fuck with it like that? Because you're not really that big of a boxing fan, but you fuck with it, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that shit incredible, but, like, Fury, man. So, say he did manipulate the glove. I wonder what the fuck they gonna do about that. Will they strip his title?
Uh-huh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, strip the title. Probably make him retract his purse, too. And probably ban him from boxing.
Man, see, Black Sniper say no excuses, bro. Get whooped. Yeah, he got whooped, but what if he was getting whooped with bare knuckle?
That's not fair.
Like, he manipulated. They saying he manipulated the padding in the glove, bro. So, you hitting somebody square on and you got protection on yours, but his is just, you just getting straight knuckle. That's a big difference.
That ain't cool.
That's taking all your shit, and that could mess your life up. You know what I mean? That is something. That's nothing to play with in the ring.
And especially if he hitting him with bare knuckle, you know what I mean? Capacity, and he can't strike back with it. Hey,
this shit gonna be interesting. It's gonna come out, and they gonna do an investigation. So if Fury get caught out with that shit, then he just get caught out with that shit. As always, we always do this random and goofy shit before we hit the topic, before we hit the meat of the discussion. And I want to continue. Pause. I want to continue with the dopeness of recognizing people. You know what I mean?
All right.
I like that little theme, man.
All right, then.
Today I thought it fitting. We recognize a legend. Like, of course, I'm a little biased because it's from my city, Detroit to be exact. You know, one of the best cities on earth. Berry Gordy.
From your city.
Berry Gordy.
Oh, Gordy Berry.
Let's think. I mean, really, Gordy Berry. Yeah. He might be one. He might be the most influential person in the history of music.
It's a good chance.
Or if not, if he's not, he's like fucking 1B. You know what I mean? Like, think about the sounds and all the talent he brought. You know, out of Detroit too.
Yeah.
All that energy that was in Hitsville.
Yeah, Hitsville was on slam.
And to today, like they getting sampled. And, you know what I mean? Bro, it created a template for music, bro.
He bought the whole block.
Crazy.
He bought the whole fucking block.
Businessman, like, handling this business, and it happened in the city, in Motor City. That's crazy, man.
If you ain't never been to Motown, go check it out.
Yeah, Hitsville on the boulevard. Yeah, in Detroit, man. And we took it for granted living in Detroit. Like, all my life growing up as a youngster, I never went, ever. Never cared to.
Yo, them hot dogs they be pumping up front be slapping.
We just drove by, but you know, since my adult, I've been twice.
It was your moms who took me for the first time.
Yeah,
that shit was dope.
Shit was hard,
check it though. Jamu said they supposed to check the gloves and wraps. That's why they get signatures on the gloves' wrist. You right. So I don't know how they coming with that if everything is signed and sealed.
I don't know. It's being investigated. You know what I mean?
Slipping it in.
They had pictures of the gloves looking crazy. It did look weird though, you know what I mean? And this would make sense if he manipulated that padding in there. So maybe they get the gloves checked, and then while they in the fucking, in the room, after they done got them checked, they start massaging the padding out of it or doing something. Who knows?
You never know.
But I thought about that too, though. The gloves got to get. They supposed to get checked.
Cool Colas was slapping.
Cool Colas, what's up? That's family. What's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see you out there.
Appreciate you, man.
But yeah, so like I said, man, I just want to salute Berry Gordy, man. Started Motown Records in 1959.
Yep.
And Stax Music was also started too. That was in Memphis. You ever heard of Stax?
Nah, put me up on.
Yeah, that was started in Memphis. They had a lot of great artists too. It was several different people. I know it was just one white dude. I went to the museum. Okay, I went to that museum in Memphis.
If it's in the museum, it was back.
Yeah, but they had people like Isaac Hayes and a few other people on there, like a couple other people that I forgot about, but you know what I mean.
Blanco say your boy just got to take that L, man.
He do. Benny Blanco, we appreciate you. He do, man. But if they find out that them gloves is being manipulated, that changes things. That's not an excuse. That is a violation, a major violation. No, that ain't even no cap. That's not no excuse. Seriously. If they find out that he was bare knuckling that man, ooh. Because Tyson Fury never had knockout power like that. He's a great boxer, and he can box your ass to death. But he was never knocking people out, especially Wilder in the 7th round. Like making him that bloody. And then how did they change that drastic in like a year's time? The first fight went the distance, and he got put to sleep. He really should have lost the first fight. If he went night. So I'm not rolling.
I will say this either way. It seemed like Wilder was humble. He was not the same after that fight.
Yeah, if you get your ass up like that, you ain't got no choice.
I can't wait to see the next one. He about to come back with the fun.
I bet he felt like something was different. He was like, why the hell is he punching so damn hard?
When he got hit back of the head and went down, he got up like, what?
Yeah, man, what you hit me with?
I mean, I know it was a back of the head blow, but
hey,
they didn't take a point for that.
Hey, this is to be continued. Let's see. You know what I mean? We got to keep an eye on this. So
he didn't knock him out, though. His corner threw in the towel because he busted there.
No, his ass was about to get knocked out. He could have died in that motherfucker if they didn't save him. I'm sorry, Wilder.
He didn't, though. I'm glad they threw the towel.
Hey, Wilder, you the man. We all with you, bro. You ain't no bitch and throwing the towel in. I get you might want to die in the ring and all that, but it ain't necessary, bro. We know you put your heart out there. If you lace up the gloves, you a motherfucking warrior. It's hard to get in that ring and have combat with somebody. So just getting in the ring is cool enough. If you get your ass whooped, you just get your ass whooped. Fuck it.
That was different, though.
But he said he wanted to go out on his shield, but it wasn't necessary because that shit was getting ugly. So, you know what I mean? Hey, I want to talk about this. I'm a sucker for scary movies. Have y'all seen the highlights for that Candyman?
Hell yeah.
Wow.
The new Candy. Well, see, here's the thing, though, because somebody said this on social. And it was like, when I was a kid, Candyman was whack, bro. That shit wasn't scary.
You thought it was whack?
The Candyman movies wasn't
scary. I thought Candyman was good.
It was like, it kind of really
wasn't, it was more like a thriller.
Yeah. But that shit wasn't no Freddy Krueger, Jason, I know what you did.
It had a little feel to it. When you said this shit in the mirror, did you say Candyman 3 times in the mirror?
Never.
I did.
Fuck no.
I did.
You out your
ain't shit
happened.
I mean, it's a movie, so ain't shit happened. But I did that shit.
That's why you out your mind now.
We used to say Bloody Mary too. We did that shit.
I'm straight.
All of us kids. Did y'all do that shit? You ain't never did the Bloody Mary?
Won't believe it.
You and your cousins or your brothers never got in the bathroom and did the Bloody Mary in the mirror? In the dark?
Not that I can remember, G. That ain't no.
How many of y'all fuck with it? We was one of them crazy motherfuckers. We did it.
I'm not into shit like that.
But you said it wasn't scary, so why you ain't say Candyman? If it ain't scary? You were scared to do that, though?
I do know which.
So it was a scary movie then. See what I'm saying? That shit was kind of creepy.
That's witchcraft. Straight on.
And the Cabrini Greens, and then Jordan Peele got his hands on it.
That shit fly. And I seen it. I think his movie gonna be more complex than what the previous lead on too.
You can do some shit with this. I think what changed movies was Saw. That added more of like a action type of because Saw was supposed to be like kind of scary, but it made like with adding the puzzles and all that shit. That's what Saw was known for. It took the elements out of it though.
Saw was known for the riddles and the puzzles and having to figure out how to survive.
But a scary movie to me is fucking Sixth Sense. You know what I mean?
That's scary to you?
I like ghost type shit.
Get your ass out of here, man. The Sixth Sense was a nice ghost film.
That shit was creepy
wasn't
back
scary.
then. Sixth Sense was creepy than a motherfucker.
In my opinion, it was very interesting. It was creative. I don't think that shit was scary.
What would you consider scary?
Shit like
ain't shit been scary. It's action.
Like, hold on, let me see. It's one that I got. Like shit like Stir of Echoes. That shit's scary. Nigga, shit like
See, Stir of Echoes, I'm not on that. What is Stir of Echoes?
It's this other one. I forget. God damn it, what's the name of that?
Is it about ghosts? Is Stir of Echoes about ghosts?
Yeah.
All right, I'll watch it then. It gotta be about some ghost type shit. That's the thing that I think scary. Not like most of these like either Jason's, Freddy Krueger's, all that shit. That ain't scary. That's more action packed. You know what I mean? Them really ain't true scary movies. I guess for the back in the day it was, but
hey, Cherie.
I ain't really
Miss
tripping
Toba
on that
Jordan
shit.
said the movie looks good, and she don't even like scary movies. So yeah, you should check that one out.
Yeah, Candyman, that shit gonna be fine.
I think that shit gonna be deep.
You
He
know what I
said
mean?
Ghost with Patrick Swayze was scary to you.
Ghost with Patrick, hell no.
Yeah,
That was a good ass movie.
He was shook, man.
That was an interesting concept. They should do a movie about some fucking, I don't know, some people that got fucked up, like some slave type shit, and they come back and come back and haunt a town and shit. That'd be a good name for a movie. They built some shit on top of like a sacred land.
Man, that's fucking Pet Cemetery, dog.
No, but instead these is actual like old slaves or some shit. You know what I mean? Some old different type of spirits, and they come back and get revenge or some shit. You know what I mean? I think they should do some shit like that. That'd be right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you, man. But I'm trying to look for what the name of this movie was.
While you look for that, hey, you know how we had our tiers, right? We had our tiers, and we labeled tier 3s, tier 2s, tier 1s. In previous shows, we've done that, right? The tier 3 is the low life motherfuckers. People that ain't got nothing, ain't striving for shit. Tier 2, you doing good, got your own. Tier 1 is boss level. But tier 3s, even though they're on the lowest tier, they're the ones that they provide the most entertainment.
Why are you breaking down tier science right now?
Because I'm about to discuss some tier 3 shit that happened that I thought was incredible. Did y'all hear about my man in Cali jumped his ass, and this touched near and dear to my heart because my truck was running and a motherfucker dusty ass tier 3 jumped his ass in my truck and took off with it.
Oh yeah, I remember that happened.
Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
That shit happened. You know, I got.
You did. That shit was hilarious.
That's some bullshit. So in this
your own driveway,
at my
warming
crib,
your shit up,
dusty some bitch jumped in my goddamn truck and took off on me.
Yerked off on your.
I had to catch that L. I had to take that L.
You took that L.
I had to. I ain't had no choice. You know what I mean? But this dude, he did that, right? He took a Navigator.
Yeah.
I find it interesting on a few levels. He stole a Navigator and took off with it, but guess what?
What?
It was a fucking hearse.
Oh. Why would you steal a hearse?
Because he's a tier 3. He's a goofy fuck. He
didn't know it was a hearse?
But hold on. How many hearse have you seen Navigators?
None.
That's some bullshit. Like,
yeah.
I kind of blame the funeral home for having such a dope hearse. I've never seen a fucking Navigator hearse. So can you imagine you think you hit a lick and jump in that bitch and it's a coffin in the back?
Oh.
With the body in it.
Oh, yes.
So they wanted him to bring it back.
That's what he get.
So of course he got caught, but his ass ended up getting into a crash and fucking up the 110, which I haven't been to LA, but I hear that's a busy ass highway. So I could imagine that traffic it's already stupid. They had to shut the highway down for this fool in LA, bro.
Nah, I'm straight.
This dude hopped in the motherfucking truck with the casket in it, bro.
Boy, he had to get the way he was going.
Hey, bro. Can you imagine? You think you hit the
He had to get there.
And then you gotta turn, you know already nervous, your adrenaline pumping.
Yeah.
And then you turn around with the cat. What you supposed to do? I mean, because if you take it back, you a rap. Mm-hmm. You gotta leave that to the side, bro. He shouldn't have been in no chase in that, bro.
Either way, you a done deal.
You shouldn't have hopped your tier 3 ass in that motherfucker in the first place. That's where it started. So that's why I find it funny. That's what you get.
Oh shit! Hear this nigga. Hey man, Cobra, he hollering at you. He said they said Kobe crash was a conspiracy. Not even going there, Dave.
Hey, G. Hey,
doing it. G, don't go there,
listen,
man.
Dave. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that one, Dave. Hey, listen. Hey, Dave, I rock with you heavy.
Nah, man.
I don't know about
tonight,
that, bro.
Dave.
I don't know about that, man.
Not tonight.
I don't know, but I can't speak on the legend of God.
I might as well, if he go in on that, Dave. I might as well just leave. Because, hey, you know what I'm saying?
I just think that was just unfortunate.
Straight.
Now, listen. If more evidence come out, and some can
Here you go. See, now
I'm willing to go down that road.
It, man.
I'm not completely dismissing it. It could be. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm not just going I'm not gonna just completely dismiss it.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. My next topic I want to talk about.
What you got?
I seen these stories about it's females complaining. You know how we have in sports, we have the movement of the LGBT community, LGBTQ and all that.
Okay.
So we have that movement going. But what's interesting is now they're allowing these women or girls to compete in sports.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. Okay, so you're saying
there are transgenders.
Okay, that's
competing against women. Sense. How you feel about it?
That's unfair.
I I feel the same way.
100%
That shit is not right, man. These women have a great.
The game is all the way fucked up.
I'm not even trying to be politically incorrect, but that's a line, man. That is not fair, bro. You cannot be a dude disguised as a female and then consider yourself female and be able to race against. No,
so,
man.
bro, that's Joanna Man all over again, bro. So
because you don't see studs out there trying to compete with dudes,
bro.
They don't be trying to hoop with
so
the
that
dudes.
means it's only a matter of time before some transgender cats who can ball go to the WNBA.
Bro, I'm waiting to see it.
Yeah, they gonna be.
That is not fair, yo. I'm just saying. I'm on that age. That shit
They gonna be out there putting their whole arm in the rim like Vince.
Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way.
My whole arm in the rim, Vince Carter.
You got, you know what I mean? Your little baby out there competing. Your daughter, she good. And then this transformer stepped in the lane.
Gee, hold on. No, now you tripping.
I mean, that's cheating, man.
No, man.
It might as well be.
Oh, you is. Ooh.
It might as well be. That's
Bro,
cheating.
Don't make us a target like that.
How you gonna compete?
That
You
shit,
cannot compete against other genetically born females. Like, that is not fair, bro. No.
That's a fact. It's not fair.
I'm not rolling with it. Like, no, I'm with these high schools.
What can you do about it, man?
They having petitions and stuff right now.
Petitions?
Yeah,
They're signing petitions?
Yeah, it's slow movements coming.
Anybody know about that? They signed a petition.
I've seen this
so
story. They
they
trying to bring this shit more to the light.
Wow.
Shed more light on it, like and put a stop to this shit. And I'm with it because that ain't fair. That's a competitive advantage.
So that mean the same thing goes for the restrooms too?
But hold on, they got that. That's another thing which is very weird, which I ain't touching. But it has happened in UFC.
Something you won't touch.
I'm not touching that restroom shit. Because I'm like, what the fuck do they use? I don't fucking know. But in UFC, there's been transgenders that have fought and won. That's not fair neither.
Wait, like
in UFC,
professional.
Yeah.
No, yep. I'm saying, damn, just think about that though.
That ain't fair, man. That's not fair.
But
you lose credit.
The woman who fights is a beast for going up and fighting a dude that's trained like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and being able to even stick to it. What
no
y'all think?
issues
That's
with
not
transgender, right. But I agree that isn't fair.
That shit ain't fair, yo.
That's
you know what I mean? Like straight
it is
up.
what it is, man. They sign their petitions if they want. I don't think it's gonna stop anything.
It is what it is. So I just thought that was very interesting that they allowing the shit to take place. Like they, I think the schools and the athletics, but they probably don't want no lawsuit though. They probably thinking the same shit. Like they don't want to do it, but they don't even want the storm.
I mean, you have to think about it.
That's gonna come if they deny a transgender from competing.
Yeah, they're entitled to equal rights.
But at the same time, like fair. What about fair play though? Like that ain't nothing fair about it.
But I think society is still figuring that out though, man, because it's a very different situation. It's
ain't nothing to figure out.
Yeah, well, obviously it is.
Shit ain't right.
It still seems to be concerning to some.
I'm surprised they letting them get away with the shit. Like, to be honest, it's incredible to me. But hey, what can you do? Like, I mean, if you stop them, then they're gonna have a movement against your ass, and in school, y'all gonna be looking bogus once it hit the news.
Yep.
So I think that fear
of discrimination.
But being right is more important than the hell with the fear in the news. Storm you get. Majority of people gonna be on the side of this shit ain't fair.
You signing the petition?
I would do it if I had a daughter that lost an event and she lost to a transgender. I would sign that motherfucker 5-6 times. You goddamn right. If my little baby got cheated out of a dub because of a transgender, I'm signing every goddamn thing. I'm not that vested into it because, you know what I mean, it don't affect me personally like that, but I can feel for any parents who baby got cheated.
What you got next, G?
You know what I mean? You want to get up out of there? Yeah, let's get up out of there. Okay, so this story is going to lead into the topic. This story gonna bleed into the topic.
Episode 44 is gonna bleed
in the story.
Yeah.
Episode 44.
All right.
You're only sorry because you got caught. So I'm interested in your opinion on this because you have 2 young boys that you're raising.
Here we go.
Study shows and salute to the Black Detour. I always want to cite my sources. Black Detour on Twitter, man, phenomenal site. They have very interesting topics and shit I would like to talk about. A study shows black students face the hardest discipline across the U.S., less likely to be accepted into gifted programs, and black students are suspended 1.5 times more than their white classmates. how does that type of news make you feel, having young boys coming up through the school systems, knowing there's a possibility some people could have their best intentions on getting the best education not in their mind? They're just trying to pass them along as just another, instead of putting the care into students. Because why are black students getting suspended for the same type of shit way more than than white students? Why would that be?
I didn't get that from what you said.
That's what it said. Black students are suspended 1.5 times more often than their white counterparts. You know what I mean? So the numbers are skewed enough to where they're doing studies on this and bringing up topics. This shit hit the news. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's almost like an agenda. It is an agenda. Towards black kids, like their crimes or whatever they do. Whatever they doing in middle school and elementary or whatever, we ain't even talking high school. This is little kids we talking about here. They getting suspended for stuff that the other students ain't getting suspended for. You know what I mean? And so you thinking your child bad, but they just doing normal kid shit, but they're being punished a lot different. And you having boys, how would you feel, if it was slanted that way, and you found out that shit was happening to your boys, having kids in this, in this shit now.
I mean,
there's stories out there like that.
I mean, we already know the game is skewed. And so how I basically feel is that they just got to be more on point, you know what I mean, in the decision making. And that's what I'm trying to instill in them now. I mean, it starts now with that. The shit is already on a incline. So yeah. With that being said, I'm already trying my best to prepare them for just working harder and working smarter than their counterparts, no matter what color they are, because that's what they going to have to do in order to get where they need to be. You feel what I'm saying? Or wherever their heart desires. So that's what that is. That shit ain't no different from when we was in school. You know what I'm saying? And granted that, it's a lot of the youth in our communities that didn't go to academies, weren't in Catholic schools, weren't in boarding schools. They didn't have that organization that a university would have. You know what I mean?
This could just be a regular public school or charter.
I mean, I get that, but my point being is that are we talking university here?
No, this is just
Are we talking high school?
We're talking kids,
like children.
Yeah, elementary stuff, like middle school. Black students face the hardest discipline across the U.S.
Oh, okay.
And are 1.5 times more likely to be suspended than their white classmates.
What's so different with about that than what's happening with the police?
That's leading right into, that's kind of on the point I'm on. Like, that's almost like that's a system. I mean, that's a systematic thing being put out, right?
And if we know that's the system we in, then we got to prepare our people for it. But
if you prepare them for it,
over.
And they just, because kids gonna be kids at the end of the day.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Well, it does start with the foundation you lay. That helps a lot. The foundation you lay helps a lot. But if they're doing everything they're supposed to do, and they're still being punished, how do you, explain that to the child? Because the child gonna think they the one doing something wrong, right. But really they wasn't.
Yeah.
They being called to the office or being pointed out unfairly. You know what I mean?
Understood.
And trying to be put through the system to try to, fuck your kid over or try to, and then they'll make them seem like they're being so bad they'll try to hold them back. You know what I mean? Stunt their growth in that way, or put them in like a special ed class or some type of shit like that. So that shit can get real deep. You feel me?
Cool Cola says, and this is why when I have kids, homeschooling seems like the way to go. Schools are and have always been on some BS when it comes to us. Okay, Cool Cola's got that opinion out there. That's been some big facts, man. We've seen the schools go to shit in our communities time and time again.
Yeah, but what about the social effect of that, though?
I understand.
Let's start right there.
We could delve into that as well, but it's we got to get into another topic.
You know what I mean?
And then Jamo said, oh shit, hold on. All right, profiling, just like what Bloomberg said, the kind of demographic he used to stop and frisk. So,
exactly, you know what I mean?
I mean, the facts is out there, man.
Putting that bullshit out there like it was supposed to be something righteous, but it was skewed, slanted heavily towards our people, towards black melanated people. You know what I mean?
So now it all comes down to how we maneuver through that, and how, of course, stand up and stand in your power at all costs. Your integrity should never be wavered. But again, if it's a systematic effect, that's hundreds of years of a system that's been put in place. So again, we got to learn how to maneuver it while we're figuring out how to destroy it. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the best thing we can do right now is to prepare our children for that type of mentality that the people outside of them may have. You know what I mean? I'm not saying all, but some.
But this shines a light on situations to where people say, well, if you just act a certain way, or like you say, if you train your kids better, or give them better homeschooling or home training, or teach them better, you can do all that. Mm-hmm. But when the system is not willing to work with them and don't want them to succeed, it can make it seem like what you're doing is futile, like you're not actually teaching them shit at the crib when you really are. They're being put in situations that's unfair and slanted towards them to fail. So if that situation was happening, would you pull your kids out of that school? Would you look to do a different school, or would you try to rectify it and keep them in that school?
It's a possibility.
If they wanted to, if your kid was begging to stay there still, they don't get it. They just want to be there with their friends. But if you found out they was picking on your child like that and suspending them for shit that really they shouldn't be suspended for, would you pull them out of the school?
Definitely.
You would?
For sure.
But a lot of parents would just keep them there. You know what I'm saying?
Nope. If my child is a victim of the authorities there, they definitely don't need to be there.
And that's definitely.
Now, a victim of your peers, that's a different story. But a victim of the authorities that's there, we don't need to be there.
Because kids do dumb shit and get into dumb shit. We all do dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Leave my kid alone. Man.
But when your shit is being scrutinized way more heavily than the others, like, I mean, that's just teaching. It's starting them off early. You know what I mean? Putting them in that system. And that's where I wanted to go with this topic today. I thought that story was interesting because you're only sorry because you got caught. So say now you find that out, and now you're going against the school system. You're going against the school board. You get a bunch of parents that go against it, right?
Okay.
The school system is saying, "I'm sorry," though. You know what I mean? They apologize, and they're using that as their crutch.
Well, if anybody's
I'm sorry, like they're sorry because the shit was brought to the forefront, but then. If you still live in that city and you bring the lawsuit, they can make it hard for you to do other shit. Like say if you go, because that's, if you go against a school system or a board, especially some educational board, that shit can trickle down. All of a sudden you lose your job. All of a sudden they got pulled in different places and no other people in higher ups. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And everybody know you're in this lawsuit going against the city or something that can hurt the city or take money out the city pocket.
I hear you there. It's a possibility, yeah.
That could lead to some whole nother bullshit. And I'm just saying, they'll come to you with the "I'm sorry." You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like they're apologizing for some shit they're really not sorry for. And I think it's interesting that people just automatically jump to the "I'm sorry for hurting you" when they really should be saying, "I'm sorry for being a piece of shit." And I haven't worked on my issues yet. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm sorry for being me.
It comes down to the basic fact: if somebody's apologizing, they're wrong. Nobody apologizes for being in the right. Might say it sarcastically, "Oh, I'm sorry that," you know what I mean? But no, if you apologizing, you're wrong.
But they
that's
don't
the first sign.
But that's the problem.
But that's what you should pick up from it. That's what I'm saying. That's what a parent should pick up from it. They're apologizing. Fuck, they're wrong, and they're not going to admit they're wrong. They're just going to keep saying, "I'm sorry."
But they really don't.
Then you got a decision.
The problem is they don't feel like they're wrong.
They're
saying they're sorry to be politically correct.
Then that shit don't help nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Then we got to take it to.
But a lot of people will be cool with the "I'm sorry" and keep pushing. They will sweep the shit under the rug, and that sorry will be sufficient enough, a good enough reason for them to to trust them once more, which I don't get. Like, you're not really sorry if that's your intent. Like, if you have a system that's meant to fuck a certain amount of people over a certain group of people, saying and then coming back saying "I'm sorry" and then sweeping it under the rug and then continuing that same system, that ain't gonna never change shit. If you can keep the masses of people like believing that sorry and going with it instead of putting pressure on people, some people just fall back. "Oh, well, they did apologize for it. We supposed to forgive them." When there really is no forgiving for a system that really don't have your best interests at heart. Or your babies, you know what I mean? There is no forgiving that. But a lot of times that sorry, it has too much weight on it. People allow that shit to be used and on their emotions and
sorry
shit. Make them soft.
Shit. Sorry
Fuck that sorry,
shit.
yeah. The hell with that shit. But a lot of people
melt
with a sorry. They melt.
You know what I'm saying? Like when they come to your kids, man, sorry don't mean shit. Sorry don't fix it. That ain't enough. You feel me? Give me another example of you only sorry because you got caught.
So I want to know. I want to know, has the word sorry lost its value deep down? If you're not willing to change,
I think so. I think it has. I think it has become a layover. Like, I mean, when I like the word "I'm sorry," that's like a quick "excuse me, my bad." You know what I mean? But it gets more to, if you really sorry, you don't tell somebody "I'm sorry." You tell them you apologize. In my opinion, I think if you tell somebody, like, look, you come to somebody correct, you're like, yo, I apologize. That's a real fucking apology with the word. But the I'm sorry shit is a passover. That's a passive aggressive way to say, yeah, my bad, but I really don't give a fuck. In my opinion. So if you're ever getting a sorry, I'm sorry. I mean, unless it's coming from a child.
We don't know no better.
You're getting the half-ass.
Yeah, but
you're getting the screw.
But now, so should you even accept the sorry though? Should you even want the sorry?
It depends on if it's sincere.
Yeah, exactly. Because depending on the situation, sorry comes with your actions. If you're truly sorry, you won't do this shit again. You know what I mean? You'll learn from it, keep it pushing. But so many people, they only sorry because, damn, I wasn't smart enough to get it by you. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, fuck. I'm sorry that you found out and now you pissed off, but I'm more sorry because I wasn't smart enough to put it past you and deceive you. More people want to go with because they're going to keep doing it. They would have never stopped. So obviously you're not sorry if you're going to keep doing the shit. You know what I mean?
Cool. So, agree with you.
Yeah.
He says real apologies are in action and change. I get that, dude. That's real talk. But let me ask you this. Like, what do you consider if somebody... And just to step off of the because you got caught part, what is an apology? How do you determine if somebody's apology is real? You know what I mean? How do you feel real empathy when somebody apologizes? Is that how you determine if it's real or not? You know what I mean? What about if they apologize and they minimize the situation to justify why they did what they did?
Because it's like you said, there's levels to it. You could be going somewhere, you walk by a perfect stranger, step on their shit. Ooh. My bad, sorry, bro. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's a quick oop. I wouldn't have never stepped on your shit or fucked your shit up on purpose. Yep. If I've been known it's there. So that's one level. That's okay, cool.
Okay.
All right. So then there's I'm sorry. The person you with, they've had suspicions you've been doing shit, never been able to pin you down to shit. You've been able to get away with it, but it's that one time now you get caught. Then it's the I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I won't do it again. But really, you want to do it again. That's your nature. You know what I mean? You're not sorry for cheating. You're sorry that they found out.
So you sorry you got caught.
So now you feel like you got to fucking stop the shit when you don't want to.
So again, my thing is, at what point do you decipher if this is a real fucking sorry or an apology?
You sorry if they change their habits. If you sorry if they're not doing the same thing, they change their whole route. You don't have no suspicions of shit. They on the up and up.
What if
motherfucker don't never they never handle that or do that infraction?
What if they shift the blame? G? What if they shift the blame on you?
If they shift the blame on you, then they're not sorry.
And they let you know it's my fault. What if they say like
they a manipulative motherfucker?
What if okay? So how about this? What if they say, "I'm sorry, but," or
once you say the but,
I'll say I'm sorry if.
That's a wrap. That's deflecting. You need to say I'm sorry because I did this. So I'm sorry for doing this to you. I'm sorry because I'm not this. I think you shouldn't. My thing is don't say sorry.
So you agree there's a lack of accountability there?
Absolutely, because you can't say I'm sorry, but you didn't show me enough attention. I'm sorry, but you wasn't there for me when I needed you. Right. No, you wanted to do the shit, and you just sorry because you got caught. That's what you're sorry for. I don't think you should say sorry. I think you should say my bad or I'm not right. Mm-hmm. This is what I wanted to do. My desire is to do this. I didn't know how to tell you.
Check this out. Cool Cola says a lot of things go into it: the situation, the tone, what's said, as well. You know what I mean? I guess the way I see it, saying I'm sorry sincerely is a preface, and following up in action is a confirmation. I like that. That's kind of G. That makes sense to me. That means they have to put in effort. And then Miss Tolbert Jordan says if they keep apologizing for the same thing, then they're not sorry. I mean, Ms. Tolbert, I agree with you there if it's like just a belligerent amount of times, but you know, sometimes some people fuck up and they just gotta keep getting it right. You know what I mean? You gotta keep saying I'm sorry till you get it right.
Some people don't want to though.
Some shit is hard to just shake like that. So you may incur a few apologies along the way, but I get what you're saying though. If it's fucking what do you call it? Chronic. Fuck. If motherfucker always apologize for the same shit, then they're not really sorry.
Then that's my thing. I think our nature, truly, if it's something you really love, is not to say sorry, because you're not sorry. You know what I mean? If you were sorry, you wouldn't do it. I think you should say, this is how you can deflect. It's a little manipulation, but I think I would handle this better than somebody saying I'm sorry. I need to work on me.
Oh shit, nigga.
I have a desire. I have a desire to do this.
Now, okay.
You caught me in my desire, and I'm not willing to stop at this point.
Wow.
I'm not willing to stop.
You think you can come that correct?
That's how you should be if you're gonna be honest.
Yeah, we talking in the
because the sorry is the.
You talking perfect world though.
The sorry is mute though.
Do you think somebody can come that correct and mute the sorry?
I think you almost have to because if you keep doing this shit, the sorry means nothing.
Never fucking seen it.
The sorry don't mean nothing. But I think that's a different approach. That's a better way to say sorry.
And actually, even if you are being sincere about I gotta work on me, I'm not. Motherfuckers would take that as an excuse. Like, yeah, whatever. Man. You just, you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't even believe that shit.
No. Whether they believe it or not is irrelevant, but that is telling them the truth.
Okay.
So you're giving them the option you're saying, I'm probably not going to stop this shit.
Okay, and so you're not apologizing then?
Our level, the level that we at,
okay,
haven't caused me enough strife to want to stop. I don't feel like it's worth stopping. I'm going to keep doing it. So to keep apologizing over and over for the same shit, you wasting their time and yours.
I get it.
But at the same
time, ain't nobody gonna do that though.
But at the same time, if you
a thoroughbred
if you can do what you want to do, right, and get away with it, and just say I'm sorry, and that shit keep working, why would you stop?
I get that.
So it's on the other person to be smarter.
Accountability.
You know what I mean? It's on the other person to take that and like this.
Fool me once.
Yeah, this motherfucker say I'm sorry, but they at the same they would do this shit over and over and over, and they've proven they would do it. So. Who's really at fault then if you put it like that? If you say I'm me, this is me, I'm not gonna stop. You've now put the onus back on them, right?
Of course. And now look, Ms. Tober Jordan says I'm sorry if it's not okay. If they say I'm sorry if, then they are about to put the blame on the other person for feeling the way they are feeling. That's big facts right there. And that's people flipping it. And that happens all the time. That's a manipulation tactic. It works. Depending on the person who they're trying to flip it back on. You know, motherfuckers can stand in their power, then that shit'll never work.
So how would you personally take a sorry if it's from a loved one and you find out they was cheating?
I'm sorry, don't fix none of that shit.
If you found out or hold on, let's say this. If you found out they cheated.
Okay.
Right? And it might not be. Yes. Okay. They have cheated.
Okay.
But their actions show that they have stopped, or that they were sincere. They really meant it. They fucked up.
That's fucking hilarious.
They fucked up.
That's funny.
But now they've switched and they've changed, and now they're acting like you want, accordingly. Like the whole mood has changed. That one fucked up has. Would you accept it?
Forget about it.
You're not accepting. If a motherfucker cheat on you, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Even if everything else is in order. Let's say everything else, the house is in order, everything y'all flowing smooth. Everything was cool until you found out.
Ain't nothing in order, you cheating.
What if you cheating yourself?
That's a totally different talk show.
If you cheating yourself,
then you have no grounds.
But they've never caught you. Would you accept? Would it be easier to hold that sorry?
Now, see, it'd be depending on the type of person you is, because now you're in the conundrum of either acting like you ain't been cheating and holding them in the doghouse, or saying that you had cheated too just to hurt them. But then you're opening a whole nother bed of lies if you had cheated multiple times and then come on and say I cheated once too. You know what I'm saying? So that shit can get nasty. So it all depends on the type of person you're dealing with, because some motherfuckers will even if they cheating themselves and you get caught,
Mm-hmm.
they'll let you feel like shit for it, knowing that they've been stirring macaroni behind your back the whole time.
That's stirring macaroni is ill. But but here's the thing though. So
thanks, Marquita.
What makes your sorry any more better? Do you know what I mean? So why would you expect somebody to hold your sorry in regard then? Because a lot of motherfuckers get mad at their spouse for not accepting they sorry now, but you wouldn't do it either. You feel me? A lot of people will put that out there. You want the other motherfucker to accept the sorry, but you don't put yourself in their shoes. You know what I mean? If it was done to you, a lot of people are not man enough or woman enough to handle this. They be out. And it might be, y'all might have some shit that's great. It might be working. They just fucked up. Sometimes that might be the L, and sometimes that may be part of the lesson you need to learn. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing. Out of the whole fucking topic, I don't think anyone would apologize ever if they never got caught. How many people have come to you and apologized for something they did to you that you had no idea they done, and they know you had no idea?
They don't.
So
they only do it until it's revealed.
The only time a motherfucker say I'm sorry or apologize is if.
But more often than not, what happens? It gets revealed. Majority, what you do in the dark comes to light.
Cool Colas. He says, I think it's all about accountability. If you own it, say what you. All right, hold on, man. Let me zoom in. I'm back too far.
You can't read. Yo, ass blind in the motherfucker.
All right.
I think it's all about accountability if you own it. Say what you're wrong for, and then apologize for the pain that what you did caused a person an inconvenience. Then it's appropriate.
Hey, I'm smart.
What if you want to do it again though? You feel me?
Hey, I can read though, just so y'all know.
He definitely can read.
I'm smart.
I think.
I've tried.
But what if you can read? But what not to read? What if you're really not sorry? What if you want to keep going though? But at the same time, you really don't want to hurt that person that you
can't have your cake and eat it too on the bed of lies, man.
So I think if you once
you're gonna get caught.
Once you're caught, right?
Yep.
And you put all the onus on you.
Yeah. If you take full disclosure, full accountability for it.
You say, I'm sorry for being a piece of shit.
Who does that?
I'm sorry because I'm not right. You've now given them the power to choose if they're going to keep going. As opposed to saying, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again, knowing you want to fucking do it again.
Damn, hold on, dog. Jamu.
What up, though? Kamu, what's up,
man?
This
boy said, what if someone says sorry because they got caught, but they needed to say sorry because their game plan wasn't done? And for them to finish playing you, they needed to apologize to buy themselves some more time.
That's player shit, but at the end of the day, you wasting time because you're going to be caught again, and then what? You know what I mean?
But are you wasting time? Because you're only in it to get what you need. So as many sorries that can be forgiven, which happens often, you're just laying them on and they just taking them. Like cash.
Majority of the time, that be the motherfucker you marry, though. Because...
Ooh.
You feel me? And so you're gonna say sorry to do what you gotta do. You're gonna get way more involved than you should, and then it's a wrap. But now if you gotta get the bag, I can't really blame you. If you need to say sorry just to get a bag and use a motherfucker, that sucks, but hey.
That's all you gotta do?
But
I think you gotta do a little more than that.
No, but some people will take the sorry, and then you know the the macaroni. Yeah, I get it. But you say sorry, they believe you. Now you're gonna be like, well, shit, that was easy.
And that's all I gotta do. Cool Colas came back, then it's a new thing. If you are a repeat offender, it's the same old same. You ain't sorry.
You're not sorry. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So stop saying. I think the word sorry needs to be taken out.
But the only reason why they saying it, G, because they got caught. Think about that.
And you do have some feelings for the motherfucker, because if you didn't have any feelings for him, there would be no need to say sorry.
You really only know that somebody is like really apologizing when they actually feel the pain that they caused you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when it's a one-time isolated thing and you know that person that they fucked up.
And another thing too, you gotta respect too, and I gotta put this out there when you asked if one of your loved ones cheated on you.
Yeah.
and they came to you and told you they cheated, first of all, you got to respect them for coming to you because obviously you didn't know.
No.
You got to respect that.
No.
Yes,
they didn't come to you. They was found. It was
they got
found
caught.
out.
Oh, they got caught.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
No. No, it was found out. Fuck. Shit came to light. Got caught cheating. But here's the thing: majority of the time they don't want to stop. You only feel like you need to stop and say sorry.
Once you
and
get
let
caught,
it lay low because you've been caught. That's what I'm saying.
So let's think about this.
Your intentions was to be a piece of shit. Your intentions was to deceive.
Of course.
And a lot of people are like that. Your intentions, once you have your mind set on some shit, that's you. So once you say sorry, you need to say sorry for being me. That's really what you say.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for the person that I am.
But that shit ain't gonna happen, bro.
You ain't gonna come out and say it, but that's really what you're saying sorry for. I'm sorry for the person that I am that you fuck with. I'm wasting your time.
That's being the realest you can be, saying some shit like that to somebody. How often can somebody step outside of themselves, take that accountability, and put that amount of truth on top of it and say, hey, I'm a fucked up person. You know what I mean? I would apologize, but I don't really feel any empathy for what I did because that's what I do, and I don't want to stop doing it. So we should just, or either you ride with me or you don't, type shit like that.
But that's really the most honest and easiest way. It only sounds foreign because we weren't taught that. We were taught to say sorry, and that's good enough. And then do your little splaining and crying, and then say you never gonna do it again. When you know good and goddamn well, majority of the time you want to do it again.
Only if the world could be that blunt, man. That'd be amazing.
But it's really easy.
It'll be beautiful.
It's really easy. It's easier to blame yourself for your fuck up than it is to say sorry, as if this was an isolated event. This was an isolated incident, and I'm not going to do it again.
In my experience, for human beings, it's the total opposite. People will not take the blame themselves. People will not take responsibility for their part.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing, but I'm saying a lot of people have learned. You've been taught if I say sorry, and I look like I mean it. That person will go for it. You know what I mean?
This how you know when somebody lying. They get tense. They freeze up while they telling the lie. They might appear uncomfortable, blinking eyes and shit. That's how you figure out somebody lying. They start scratching and itching and swallowing hard and fidgeting. You know what I mean? They look up or look to the right. They might be lying to you. You know what I mean? Raise the speed or the pitch of their voice. You got to just see the subtle signs. See, what I like to do is, and I'm going to give y'all a little piece of game here at the SimpFree podcast before we get on up out of here. Is if I want to know the truth about something, I'm going to ask you 4 questions, and I'm going to do it subtly. I'm going to ask you 3 questions that I already know the answer to. You
say you already know the answer?
Yeah, and I'm going to know you, and you're going to answer them truthfully. They're going to be 3 subtle questions I know you're going to know the answer to, and you're going to answer them subtly. And then I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to watch your reactions when I ask you those 3 questions. Then I'm going to ask you the question I really want to know. And if your shit switch up, bing, no matter what the fuck you say to me, something you telling me ain't all the way the truth, or you lying about something.
So why don't you ask him what you really want to know first?
Nah, because I got to make sure. I got to map out the body language. I ask you 3 questions that I know the answer to, that I know you're going to answer.
What if they pass them 3 questions?
That's what they're going to do. They're going to pass the 3 questions. It's the 4th one.
And what if they pass that 4th one?
Then they ain't
because they know you.
Nah,
they know what you want to hear.
I just gave a piece of game out there. Then nobody know that shit. Nobody have any fucking idea I would do that.
But a person might know you well enough.
That's how you get it.
If you fuck with them, that's some great game.
That's how you get the truth.
But there are some people that know you well enough to know that you know that scheme.
Nobody knows that about me until now.
The person you with, they know what answer to tell you to kind of get you off of that path if you don't have concrete evidence.
Bro, I see. I'm a fucking detective. If I want to know something, Gordon, I'm gonna find out.
You're gonna find out
everything.
That's majority of people.
Yeah, I don't, and it's not gonna be hard for me. I'm going to find out.
So now let's say everything's going good, right?
Yeah.
You love, everything's cool. You rocking with a person, and then you go snooping.
I don't snoop.
And you find, listen, but let's say you do.
I don't snoop.
You had a feeling, you think some shit going on, and you go snooping. Does that person owe you a sorry for you snooping and finding out some shit?
Hell no. You owe a sorry for snooping.
But that's not how it go. They gon' you.
Wait, you saying did I find something?
Yes, you found some shit. Because that's how a lot of people get wrapped up. They ass fall asleep, or they get caught slipping. They leave their phone or leave whatever
First of
around.
all, your ass shouldn't have been snooping. First of all, you shouldn't have been snooping.
But that don't
unless
matter.
you had your reasons.
They just was seeing. Some motherfuckers are just naturally curious. Some motherfuckers just can't help it. They gon' if your shit laying around, they gonna go through your shit.
Now, all I'm saying is don't ask questions your ass don't want to know the answer to them.
It's not your fault, right? It's not your fault if you was doing some shit, but you've been hiding it good enough for them never to catch a sin or anything, and you've always kept it 100.
And then you get popped.
You taking care home, and you doing everything you're supposed to do.
Right.
But then they go snooping and finding shit. Should you be sorry for that, or should they be the one?
Yeah, because you living a lie.
Because they gonna jump off. They gonna jump stupid on you.
You living a lie, man. Kumu, Jamu.
They gonna jump stupid on you though. They never gonna apologize. They never gonna feel like they the ones that was wrong.
No,
You're fucked.
Yeah,
they on your head.
Correct, Amundo. We got you.
But don't you? Didn't they? But they might have just done you a favor.
Maybe, or you might just be fucked.
You was in the wrong.
Why if you didn't care about the person and they weren't valuable to you, why were you hiding it from them in the first place?
Because motherfuckers do dumb shit. You know what I mean? And it take you doing dumb shit and getting caught to realize how dumb this shit is. Because if you keep doing it and you getting away with it, you know it's some dumb shit, but you really ain't felt the effects of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It ain't until you go through it till you realize if that person is worth you feeling agony about it. Because you might do this shit and not give a fuck. You might be like, yeah, I did this shit so well.
Oh, Mo, you coming with some shit. Hold on, this boy want to hit me with that at 9:57. He says, what if the truth is too much for the recipient? Is it acceptable to then tell a false story, apologize, and then save the other person from heartache they cannot handle? Now, see, that I think that's one of the biggest reasons why people lie. I mean, some people are just fucking liars, straight up. But I think one of the biggest reasons why people lie is because they don't want to hurt the person that they're telling the story to, or that, you know what I mean?
No, it's because you don't want to be honest. You feel you want your cake and want to eat it too.
No, I don't think that's
majority of people. You want to be deceitful.
No, because you
want to deceive.
Well, that's some people.
That's
I'm not talking about everyone. I'm saying
I'm
I think people lie to not hurt others in a lot of cases, especially in relationships.
And a lot of people lie just because they selfish and they want they want what they want.
Obviously, if you did something you shouldn't be doing, you're lying. So, again, if you can't tell them the truth, you're lying.
Of course.
All right? So you ain't doing them no justice for real. But some people can't handle the truth, so you have to lie.
That's not. But that's this is projecting. How do you know?
This is
what you haven't told them.
Because you know this person. You've been with them. You know if they can handle what you about to tell them or not.
But you shouldn't do this shit.
You were just in here saying how your other should be able to tell.
If you feel like that's the point. You shouldn't do this shit if you feel like if you tell them it's gonna end the shit or it's gonna go left. If whatever you doing, if you can't tell that person you with what you doing without feeling some type of repercussion or thinking it's gonna fuck some shit up, that's gonna fuck your whole energy up. Whether you get caught or not, whether you know it or not, you're putting bad energy in the atmosphere. So you could think you're getting away with the shit and you could think you're saving their life or saving their feelings, but how do you know? Sometimes a motherfucker would rather you come to him and be like, look, this is what's going on. This is how